It sounds cliche, but sometimes the most influential people you have in your life, you don't always remember meeting. My grandmother died when I was about 6 years old. I don't remember much about her except saying our last goodbyes when she was sick in bed. But years later, she has continued to be such a huge part of my life. My mother was only 29 when her mother died, but from what she has told me, she has also had an admiration for my grandmother. My grandmother grew up poor in Germany during the Great Depression. My mother tells me stories how, as a little girl, Grandma would go out early in the morning and wouldn't be allowed back until her and her siblings had collected an armful of kindling to heat their home. Germany, as you may not know, was bare. It was completely destroyed from World War I. Grandma was only 18 when she moved to America from Germany. She came here with nothing. She was poor and had no idea what America was like. Sometimes I try to imagine moving to a brand new country by myself, with really nothing but the clothes on my back. I don't know if I could be that strong, but nonetheless, she did it. Not long after she came to America, she met my grandfather on Long Island at a German dance hall. My grandpa was in the army and had also just returned from Germany. He loved being in Germany, and going to these dance halls reminded him a lot of it. Long story short, my grandmother fell in love with my grandfather. They got married and had 4 children. I sometimes like to think of people's lives as the dash between their dates. What has inspired me is how she experienced her dash. My grandmother traveled from Germany to America on a boat, fell in love with a handsome man, and had 4 beautiful children. They loved each other with no regrets, and whatever they wanted, they did. She lived in New York and eventually built a house in the Florida Keys. She loved it down there and hated the cold. They frequently visited Germany for weeks at a time. My entire life, I've been told by my family members that I remind them of a young Erica. I take this with great pride to be compared to such a strong individual. My grandma not only had a great dash, but all the while she was a caring mother, loyal wife, hardworking salesperson, energetic and happy. Most importantly, she was happy. She only lived into her 50s, but the length of your dash isn't important. It's how you spend that dash. She has been a huge influence in my life simply from the stories and characteristics she possessed.